Today, we're going to talk about Cryptokitties. Probably the stupidest thing I ever imagined myself ever talking about since I made this channel. And yet, quite honestly, it is brilliant. It really is. In a lot of ways, to me, this reminds me of the pet rock. Not in the sense that it is exactly similar, it's probably closer to Beanie Babies. But the reason it reminds me of the pet rock is because it pisses me off how rich these people are going to get off of freaking Cryptokitties. You know, I had to reevaluate my life with the pet rock at how much money that person made selling literal rocks. I mean, come on. Anyway, Cryptokitties actually, seriously though, I will tell you that when we think about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, trying to take a serious note on this rather non-serious screen, when we think about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, the problem has been, at least to me, that price has been going parabolic and adoption hasn't been. And there's this great article on Seeking Alpha by a guy named Paulo Santos. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he is a Bitcoin bear to the largest extreme. I mean, he actually thinks Bitcoin is worthless. However, unlike Jamie Dimon, the guy has actually put a lot of time into researching Bitcoin, thinking about Bitcoin. He's talked with Bitcoin experts, and he's actually given it a fair amount of his time to come to this assessment. So even though I completely disagree with him, it's actually kind of nice finding a Bitcoin bear for once that actually spent time on researching their opinion rather than just saying it because price is going up. So check this guy out. Seriously, I recommend that you do. It's always good to keep up with people that are on the opposite end of the spectrum of where you are. And I'll also say this. I think he's biased. I think that it actually has affected his analysis to a certain extent. It kind of feels like he has a vendetta against Bitcoin. It's more than just thinking that it's worthless, I guess. It feels personal almost. But he has enough information, data, and facts that makes it so that even if he is making it personal, I still believe his information and research is valuable. So in this article that he has on Seeking Alpha, he actually talks about the adoption of Bitcoin in terms of commercial usage. And he estimates, after going through a number of statistics here, essentially that only 0.5 to 0.6% of all Bitcoin dollar volume transactions on the blockchain, right? So these are on-chain transactions, are used for commerce. In other words, actually being used to purchase goods and services. And the way he estimated that was by taking BitPay's annual run rate and then applying, basically, you divide by the amount of their market share and you come out with the total run rate for the entire industry, and essentially that's how he came up with the value that he was able to see. If you want to actually go through this article and figure out how he calculated it, I would invite you to do so. But anyway, the point is, less than 1% of transactions for Bitcoin is actually used for commerce. The majority of it is used for speculation, basically moving Bitcoin between exchanges to purchase altcoins. And I'll be talking about this in a future article because I think it's fairly important to discuss. But it is worth noting that Bitcoin adoption, at least when we think of it as a transaction medium, this is ignoring remittances, and this is obviously ignoring the digital gold argument, which are two other ways in which you can value Bitcoin. And I will, again, discuss that in a future video/article. But for now, in terms of using Bitcoin as a transaction medium, its price is far ahead of its adoption. If you look at the velocity of Bitcoin, and this is an article by Chris Berninsky, he's the guy that I continually recommend with the crypto assets book that I have in the description as an affiliate link. Go check it out. Seriously, it's actually a very good book. But he basically talked about the velocity of Bitcoin, said it was roughly 6.5 in the year of 2016. And he initially was estimating, if I can find it in this article here, right here. He was initially estimating a velocity about 1.5. The higher you go with the velocity, the more conservative the estimate is going to be because the smaller of the network size that you need to support Bitcoin. I know this seems so disconnected from Cryptokitties at this point, but trust me, just stay with me because we are going to tie it back in. In order to support the Bitcoin network, you would probably need less than, say, like $10 billion worth of value. And Bitcoin's all the way up at close to $200 billion worth of market cap. Okay? So this is, again, going to be discussed in a future video. So check out this channel, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Stick around if you're new. Otherwise, let's move on to talking about why Cryptokitties here is such an important innovation for cryptocurrencies as a whole. This stupid little application is actually proving that you can start to create applications that a bunch of people will use, and it actually will probably get a fair amount of news coverage. Bloomberg has actually made an article on it already, and they're talking about how it's overwhelming Ethereum network's processing, but I think that's missing the bigger picture here. What they're referring to is the fact that transaction volume for Ethereum has essentially skyrocketed since we saw the creation of this Cryptokitties platform, or the launch of it, on November 28th. I believe it was November 28th. I'm going off of memory at the moment. And then if you look at pending transactions here, you can also see that that has skyrocketed since the beginning of December on the Ethereum network. And that's sort of what everybody's focusing on, and they're completely missing the big picture here, which is we finally have a reason to actually worry about scaling. Now, we have had a reason to worry about scaling for quite some time, but this is based off of actual usage rather than just speculation, right? A lot of times the usage is, for the Ethereum network, it usually gets flooded from ICOs. There's been a number of times where big ICOs have led the Ethereum network to halt, but not really the decentralized applications themselves. Those have not actually led to a huge influx of traffic on the Ethereum network. Whereas now we finally have a situation where that is the case. It is actually something that people will get interested in. It will be covered by news platforms because guess what? It's so relatable. It's so easy to talk about this on the news. Just imagine this stupid little kitty that you see here being on your local news channel. How easy is it to explain Cryptokitties versus cryptocurrencies? I mean, seriously, let's be real here. And the team actually went the extra level to create the marketplace, which is, I have to tell you, this is playing, or I should almost say preying, on this human nature of wanting to acquire and have collectibles and get the best possible kitty that you actually can, and you're going to try to breed and try to get the most valuable kitties. I'm telling you right now, as stupid as this thing sounds, it will be written about in any history account that's made for talking about the history of cryptocurrencies, which I know sounds absurd, but I guarantee you any book 3 to 5 years from now, if they talk about the history of cryptocurrencies, in particular Ethereum, they are going to talk about this application. It's already making waves. It doesn't even have to do any better than it does right now at this very moment for it to basically already change the history of cryptocurrencies. It may only be a sentence in that book. Maybe it'll be a paragraph. It depends on just how crazy this gets. If you actually look at the sales of these things, which is probably the most crazy part of all of this, you can see that some of these Cryptokitties have actually gone for a lot of money, right? The original, the first one, went for almost $118,000. And you can see there's actually been quite a few 5-figure sales. So it is amazing to me how such a simple application can suddenly change my perception on what can actually be done in terms of adoption. Because here's the problem with Ethereum and all of these other cryptocurrencies at the moment. They cannot create advanced applications, plain and simple. However, if you can make a simple application like this that appeals to human nature, right? It's very easy to get people on board, very easy to spread it through marketing, very easy to get this. I mean, seriously, look at this. How easy is it to market this? Okay, anybody could market this, and you don't have to fully understand it. I would encourage everybody that's actually watching this video, even if you're a serious investor, try messing around with this. I'm serious. You actually want to be on ground zero when it comes to having experienced this stupid little application here. And I'm sorry, I know I keep calling it stupid. It's just, it's so hard to take something like this seriously. I mean, look at him. Seriously, or her, whatever it is. You get the point, all right? But in all seriousness, this is a huge achievement for the Ethereum platform. It's going to motivate other developers to start creating similar copycat type applications, and you just never know which ones are going to take off. So what's important to realize about all of this is that this could just be the very beginning of finding different applications, while simple, that appeal to human nature. And that's all you need to do. And I think there are ways to improve upon this. I think we are going to see developers who see how successful this is. We're going to get a bunch of copycat applications, and it's possible that one of them takes off. And if one of them takes off, then more and more developers start getting brought in, just like this particular application here will also bring developers in. So I'm actually fairly bullish on Ethereum, especially because if you look at it relative to Bitcoin over the long term here, it's actually reaching a key support level, which is right around that 4 million Satoshi mark. It's a little bit below it, and you can see there's been a few times that it's dipped below that mark, and then it usually comes right back up. Now, I'm not saying it's going to appreciate in terms of dollar level, because I think that Bitcoin is far overextended at the moment. I mean, this is just insane. Okay, so I do think there's a chance here that we see Ethereum go down in terms of dollar level, but I do think that it will appreciate against Bitcoin. So if that's your primary focus and you want to still have a significant allocation to the cryptocurrency market, I actually think that Ethereum is a good buy just on a technical basis at the moment, and I actually think the Cryptokitties platform or application actually brings it to another level. I actually think it's a phenomenal achievement for the cryptocurrency space as a whole, and you'd be surprised at how silly some of the first big blockbuster applications can be. And we don't know, maybe this ends up being a fad. And by the way, I'm not going to start speculating on whether or not you should invest in Cryptokitties. We might be in a Cryptokitty bubble for all I know. Okay, that's a totally different skill set. If you want to talk about investing in Cryptokitties, seriously, make a YouTube channel about investing in Cryptokitties. I'm sure there's going to be a demand for it. People will want to hear about, you know, I went to the Cryptokitties Reddit, and there's actually some discussions about how to get the highest possible value breeds out there based off of whatever the two, parents are. Again, that's not really, I don't have time for that. I also don't particularly have a lot of interest in it. However, I will say there is a demand for it at the moment. People are talking about it, and you're actually going to be contributing to the success of cryptocurrencies as a whole. If CryptoKitty does well, then so does cryptocurrencies, as stupid as it sounds. So support CryptoKitties. They're doing phenomenal at the moment. Seriously, every time I check this website, this value keeps going up. We're almost at $5 million worth of kitties that have been purchased and sold. The median price is $23. The average price is $127, which is obviously influenced by outliers like this one that, 5-figure, 6-figure sales. But it's amazing to me regardless. And this is going to be an interesting phenomenon to watch over the next, couple of days, next couple of weeks. Keep an eye on Cryptokitties. I guess we'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As usual, if you would like to support me, there are some affiliate links in the description. And if you are interested in purchasing Ethereum or any other cryptocurrencies, there is a Coinbase referral link in the description that you can use. Otherwise, leave a like, comment, and subscription, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.